Okay, in this little tutorial video, we're going to be talking about customizing the taskbar at the bottom of your screen. So, first to begin with, hiding and unhiding your taskbar. This is something that you may or may not like. For me, I like it because if we're doing a presentation or a workshop, it looks really professional if my second display, for example, a monitor or something, is displaying without any icons and without any clutter. So if people just see this, it looks really clean and nice, and it just gives off a more professional vibe. And so typically I like to hide my taskbar when not using it, simply because it just comes off a little bit more professional. And one thing I'll just say on that is please do try to keep your desktop clean. You can save files there, however, just note that saving files to your desktop does slow down your startup times a little bit, and it clutters your RAM's memory a little bit. It's not a big impact, but it's better practice to sort and organize your files off of your desktop. Nothing really should live here. So going back to the taskbar, sorry for that small deviation. So if you want to hide it, there's a very easy and quick way to do this. From your taskbar, simply right-click in an empty space somewhere, and you'll see there's a taskbar settings. See that gear icon? Just try to remember that gear icon because that will come up again and again. So if we click taskbar settings, we'll see that there's this option here to automatically hide the taskbar in desktop mode. So if you turn that off, you'll see the taskbars come back, and now it will just stay there forever. So that's your first little trick, is how to have your taskbar hide or not hide. For tablet mode, that's something else, that if you have a convertible tablet PC, one of these ones that folds it backwards or the screen part comes off, you can set it separately. You can set a different setting for if you have a computer like that. If not, you don't need to worry about this. All of these other options here, I would leave off. For example, peek, that's not really a very useful option, and it sometimes gets in the way. So I would leave those off. I would leave your settings as you see them here. So you can go through and look through my settings and then set yours to match. However, there's just a couple other tricks that I wanted to show you before we move, and that is how taskbars show on multiple displays if you have more than one computer monitor or a laptop screen plugged into a projector, as well as the position of your taskbar. And so the taskbar location on screen here will let you set where your taskbar shows up. So as you see, I've just moved it to the left side. I can have it be on top. And this just basically just flips everything. So now everything is available on the top of the screen. I can have it on the right side, or I can have it on the bottom. Obviously, I'm a traditional guy. I prefer it on the bottom. But you can set it if you prefer it a different way. Anytime you see one of these little helpful like question mark things, that will actually, you can click on that and that will bring you to a Windows or a Microsoft tutorial that'll give you a little bit more information on those subjects. Another thing that we want to do here is look at locking the taskbar. So I'm going to go ahead and close this menu now because we don't need to look at the settings menu anymore. So I'm going to show you how to lock and unlock the taskbar. And again, this is very easy. I'm just going to right click and it says lock all taskbars. So boom. If I do that, the taskbar is now unlocked. So what does that mean? Basically that means I can customize what is showing up on my taskbar and how it shows up. And so for example, as you can see over here, I've got a couple icons here that are a bit different from these icons over here. And you can see they're in a different section. This is actually a toolbar. This is the links toolbar. And you can add or remove toolbars by right-clicking on the taskbar and adding different toolbars here. So there's addresses, links, and there's a link to the desktop. Now, I've only enabled links. If I take this off, you'll see what happens. That section goes away. If I want to put it back on, watch what happens again. It's now coming up over here and it looks very strange. So, in order to customize this, I'm going to need to make sure the taskbar is unlocked. I can then drag this symbol over here and you see there's all my little shortcuts coming back. The only problem is they're really messy, they're really tiny, and there's a lot of text. So how are we going to customize that? Well, it's pretty easy again. We're going to right click. Oops. We're going to right click and here we have show text and show title. We're just going to turn both of those off. So boom and boom. So now the word links has disappeared and the title of each link is gone. We're also going to make them a little bit bigger. So we're going to go view large icons. Much nicer. And now, because the taskbar is locked, I can decide where these go. Now, again, this is up to you how you'd like to customize your shortcuts, but for me, when I see this little white arrow, that's like there's extra things in there. I don't want that. That kind of defeats the purpose of having some quick links. So I'm going to make sure that wherever my links are, they can fit. They can all fit. And I'll teach you how to customize the icon that shows up there at a later point. Now for me, I also prefer them over there on the left side. So I'm just going to drag this thing all the way to the left until it switches and it bumps the regular application things to the right. So I've just done that. So now my links taskbar is, my links toolbar is over there on the left, and I'll just drag this back to kind of roughly around there. I'm also going to rearrange the order of these a little bit just by dragging them around. These are just shortcuts that I've created that'll live there, and I'll just briefly show you how to create those shortcuts. So from Windows File Explorer, anywhere you have an important folder, for example, my Fauna and Focus folder is kind of important. So I can actually just come to that folder and click and drag it down to that links section, and it's just going to create a shortcut right there. So now when I click on that, it brings me directly to a file or folder that I'm working on. This is a much cleaner way than having shortcuts spread out all over your desktop. To remove them, you're just going to right click on it and delete. And don't worry, you're not deleting the actual folder. That's just deleting the shortcut link to that folder. So once you've got this set up and organized the way you like, so I might put my computer link over here. This is something that I would recommend as well. This PC link, this is a useful link. So, usually from File Explorer, you'll see it over here on the left, this PC. You can just drag that down there and it'll create a this PC link in your favorites bar. It's just useful if you want to quickly access, plugged in USBs and extra hard drives and things like that. So one button, boom, I can just immediately see everything plugged into my computer. So once I have these set up the way I like, I'm just going to right click that and lock the taskbar. So, oops. Sometimes moving these things around is a little bit finicky, as you can see. So there we go. So sometimes it's a bit hard to get things on the edge. So yeah, I kind of like it like that. So I'm going to move these two over here. Beautiful. And now once I have it where I like, then I'm going to right click again and lock the taskbar. So there you go. That's a little short introduction of shortcuts and quick links on your taskbar toolbar. And just one other trick while we're here is going to be how to get these applications locked down on your taskbar. So from your start menu, you'll see a list of programs and applications on the left side, and you might see them over here in tiles. If there's a program that I would like to have appear on the taskbar always, I can actually right click it inside the start, either over here on the left side or in the tile. It doesn't matter. Either way, I'm going to go to More, and just bear in mind that this could change with a Windows update, but what you're looking for is pin or unpin from the taskbar, right? So this one is already pinned, so if I go More unpin from taskbar, you'll see that program now is unpinned from this taskbar. But if I wanted to pin it, right click, More, Pin to taskbar, and there it is. And once it's there, I can now move it around and put it where I would like it to be, in whatever order I would like it to be arranged. You can also do the same thing from the start menu. So over here I've got my program list, so I would right click, look for More, Pin to taskbar. There it is. And so now that program shows up on the taskbar. Just the same as before, you can also unpin them from here. So right clicking on any program, unpin from taskbar, and it will disappear from your taskbar. I think that summarizes the taskbar customization tutorial. I'll probably save the search function, task view, Cortana. I'll save that for a separate tutorial video to make these a bit shorter and less complicated. All right, next video coming up.